Good morning and welcome to Morning Java, brought to you as always by Get Go Cafe and Market, where right now, Dale, they've still got their $4.99 7-inch sub specials, and they're doing curbside delivery to help make sure that you're staying safe in these COVID-19 times.
Yeah, great stuff. And of course, with everybody cooking out and everything this weekend, you might not feel like making dinner on the rest of the week. Get yourself to a Get Go and buy it there.
There you go. And it is Memorial Day weekend. We're getting to celebrate on this Monday. So we figured we'd do some Memorial Day talk just to commemorate the day. Now, Dale, you and I talked about superheroes the last time around, but we're going to stay in the movie.
And of course, I was right and you were wrong.
No, that's beside the point. Talking about? What do you know? You weren't right. Get out of here. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what is your greatest war movie of all time. We're going to do a Memorial Day segment. We're going to talk about war movies that honor soldiers and such.
There could be only one.
Oh, not Highlander? No, that's not a war movie.
The Highlander is not my war movie, although Highlander could be considered a war movie. It's a very good flick. I'm going to go with Full Metal Jacket.
It's a very good movie. I'm a fan.
It's one that I watch every time that it's on. Kubrick, I thought, walked the line of comedy, and then the entire second half was dark drama. The kind of movie that I watch, as I said, again and again. Saving Private Ryan's very good. There's some other really good ones out there. There's some good old movies out there, the Sands of Iwo Jima, things like that. But I'm going to go with Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket's a good choice. When I think of war movies, I think of like Platoon. I think of a lot of great movies, but there's always one that sticks with me. Saving Private Ryan's up there. That might be my number two. My number one is it doesn't deal with Civil War, or it doesn't deal with World War.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, because we've had this discussion. Glory. It was made.
It's like there's a movie, let alone a war movie.
Yeah. It's Glory's a great movie in its complete. I think that it tells a historic time that few people even knew about before the movie came out. It deals with the first ever all-black regiment in the U.S. Army. Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, Matthew Broderick, Andre Braugher, Cary Elwes. I mean, it was just star upon star upon star, and they lit the screen up. And that's where Denzel got his first Oscar. The final battle scene, Dale, when Matthew Broderick, they're up against, it's like 300 of them against like 2,000 Confederate soldiers in their own fort. And Matthew Broderick leads his guys up and he gets shot. And Denzel picks up the flag and leads them into battle. That scene, no matter, you put that on at any point in time, I'm ready to go fight. Like, I'm just like, let's go. I'm throwing down right here, right now. I've always felt like that. It's an amazing story because it deals with patriotism, fighting for your country, but also the dichotomy of living in a country where at the time, there was this split persona of fighting against slavery and trying to keep the Union together. And I felt like it captured that so well. All right, Dale. So spinning off of this, who is your favorite ever character in a war movie / show?
Well, I said Full Metal Jacket is my favorite movie of war, about war, and I'm going to go with Gunnery Sergeant Hartman as my favorite character. Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, of course, the gunnery sergeant from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
R. Lee Ermey playing the character, basically playing himself.
Mm-hmm.
He was hired on that movie to be the guy who was kind of, talking them through what the drill sergeants say and how they handle those situations. And they just decided, you know what? We're just going to let you do the part because you're so good at it. And he nailed it. It was fantastic. You've seen other movies try to kind of use that as the basis of how they do the gunnery sergeant, because he just did it so well, including Danny Glover in An Officer and a Gentleman was very close to that.
Yeah, that was another good one. Lou Gossett getting the Oscar for that one.
It was Lou Gossett. I'm sorry, it was Lou Gossett Jr., not Danny Glover. My mistake.
Okay, but that's totally fine. I understand that movie throws us back. I like that. I like that choice. I was gonna go with the show, but I don't want to I don't want to expose our next what I pick for our next topic. But my favorite character in a war movie, it's not a movie that went to theaters. It's an HBO flick, and it's Hannibal Lee. And Hannibal Lee is the lead pilot for the Tuskegee Airmen in the Tuskegee Airmen movie. When Red Tails came out, or Red Wings, or whatever, it was horrible. It was just such an embarrassment on the genre of talking about the Tuskegee Airmen. HBO back in, I want to say, the early 2000s, maybe the late 90s, came out with this really good movie. It had Lawrence Fishburne, Cuba Gooding Jr., Andre Braugher was also in it as Benjamin O. Davis. But Hannibal Lee is the lead pilot that takes them from the trade, that takes you on the journey from training to be a Tuskegee Airman and being a fighter pilot in World War II and being a black man, in that situation, and how they weren't allowed to even go out on missions for a while, and they had to earn their keep. And then eventually they get assigned to protecting bombers in Europe during World War II. And the U.S. goes from losing 1 out of every 3 bombers to losing no bombers whenever those guys stepped up and fought. So it's a really good movie. It's one that a lot of people haven't seen. I suggest if you get a chance, if you're hanging out, if you have HBO on your Amazon or HBO Go, look up Tuskegee Airmen. It's a really good flick. All right, Dale. So now we've done movies, we've done movie character. Let's talk about shows, because this is a little different. It's not the cinematic achievement isn't there, but the show is a different thing. And I have a clear favorite. I feel like you're going to pick mine too.
I'm going to pick yours. I'm going with Band of Brothers.
That's mine. I feel like it's the best out. There's no dispute when it comes to shows.
Can't get any better than, seriously, the episode where they're in Bastogne, where they're getting just bombed like crazy. If you don't watch that and feel like it just, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Those guys went through so much in that time. A lot of those guys in that show were actually from Pennsylvania. Dick Winters, and some of the other guys were actually from the basically eastern Pennsylvania, but Dick Winters was kind of in the Lancaster, Harrisburg area. I just remember watching that for the first time and thinking, oh my God, what did I just watch? And then watching it again. I've probably watched the series, 15 times over the course of, and it's not an easy watch. Some of those episodes are really difficult to watch, but it just gives you so much respect for what those guys went through.
Yeah, and I totally feel you, because and every episode was just fascinating with the things they had from their training to when they dropped on D-Day to finding each other after D-Day, and then like before they get to Bastogne, when they're in the snowfields and they can't move and they're freezing, but they're just hanging out and joking with each other. And the reason that I didn't want to say this guy's name, because Winters, that character, that person, he was a person in real life, but just in that series, just goodness, he was like Captain America in real life.
Yeah. I believe he just died last year too, if I remember correctly.
I didn't know that.
He passed away last year, but
truly,
if you watch that show, and I know they show it a lot on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Watching that show, if you don't have a greater respect for what our troops go through, you have no heart whatsoever.
Yeah, it's spectacular. I'll tell you, the Bastogne scene when they're in the town and Winters just gets up and runs through the enemy lines. Don't shoot, he doesn't dodge. He just runs a straight line.
That wasn't Winters. That was the crazy one. That was.
I'm sorry. You're right. It wasn't Winters. I mixed it. It's been a while since I've watched the whole show, but just all the things that those guys went through. I find it a spectacular show. Another thing that you'll probably find all throughout today, probably playing on an HBO. And again, if you have HBO on one of those digital services, you can tune it up anytime you want. It is spectacular and a great watch.